Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video, and today I wanted to do my most anticipated releases of 2018. I don't have a whole lot of books on this list. First up, I know I won't be able to buy that many books this year as I've done the previous years, and also I don't include sequels that I've not come to yet, so I might be excited about that when I get to it eventually, but as of right now I'm not excited about it because I don't know if I'll still be wanting to read it, and it's not one I'm immediately getting, if you get what I mean. So these are basically standalones, sequels that I've gotten to that I'm excited about, or new authors, debut authors that I'm interested in checking out. Or maybe there's a book by an author that I've never read from before but who has been releasing books for quite a while but has also gotten a new book that sounds interesting to me. But I have a total of 12 books in here, so as I said, it's not a whole lot. I also know I'm not going to be buying a lot of books over 2018, so that's why I've limited it to my most anticipated list. Because as I said in my 2018 goals, I'm trying to only buy one book after I've read 5 books from my shelves, so that will definitely bring that down a lot. So I'll either be getting new releases either from the library or a few of them I'll buy myself, and then Storytel, where I'm listening to audios, or Audible, where I always have 1 credit a month. But these are my most anticipated releases of 2018. The first one is Beneath the Sugar Sky by Sean Maguire, the third. I'm not sure if it's the final book, but it's definitely the 3rd book in the Wayward Children series, and I've loved the previous 2. Especially Down Among the Sticks and Bones was really amazing, so I'm super excited about it, and I've always seen pretty great reviews of it, so hopefully it will still be one of my favorite reads of 2018. The next book I have on my list is A Reaper of the Gates by Sabaa Tahir, the 3rd book in her, what's it called? An Ember in the Ashes? Is that what the series is called? I forgot right now. But I'm super excited about it. I loved the first book, An Ember in the Ashes. Yeah, it must be that. And then I also enjoyed A Torch Against the Night when I read it a couple of years ago. Not as much as the first one, but still a really solid read. What I'm not super happy about is how they changed the style of their cover art. Why? It annoys me so much. I really enjoyed the cover art for the first 2 books, but this one doesn't really fit it. So that's gonna be a little bit annoying. The next book I've written down is My Plain Jane by Cynthia Hand, Jodie Meadows and Brodie Ashton. I really enjoyed My Lady Jane in 2016. I really thought it was a lot of fun. The audio was amazing, and I hope that I'll be able to get to the audio again, because I feel like they found some really good people to narrate the book and they made it a lot more fun. I don't think it's a lot as fun to just read it, but that was definitely a fun book, and I hope that I'll be able to get the audio of that. Then I have The Radical Element by Jessica Spotwood. This is her sequel to the short story collection Tyranny of Petticoats, which I've read and enjoyed. That short story collection is about women through time, that's like chronologically from the 1800s up until the 1950s or something. I don't remember when the last story was set, but it all features a female protagonist that's pretty kick-ass, and it was really a good selection of stories. I'm really excited to see what else he can weave together in The Radical Element. The next book is also one of my most anticipated. That is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. I loved Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. It's one of my top 10 books I read over 2017. And I also read The Upside of Unrequited, which I really enjoyed as well, but not as much. But Leah was one of my favorite characters from Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, so I'm super excited to see a book from her point of view, because it's gonna be so amazing, I think. The next book I have is by an author. I have never read anything by her before. I've been very curious about it, and I own a book that's part of my TBR shelf. But the new book that I'm excited about is Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. I feel like her books are she always has some interesting folklore to talk about, to write her stories about, where it's like Russian folklore or something like that. I'll just read the blurb from Goodreads for you, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing the name correctly, but Miriam is the daughter and granddaughter of the moneylenders. but her father isn't a very good one. Free to lend and reluctant to collect, he has loaned out most of his wife's dowry and left the family on the edge of poverty until Miriam steps in. Hardening her heart against her fellow villagers, she sets out to collect what is owed and finds herself more than up to the task. When her grandfather loans her a pouch of silver pennies, she brings it back full of gold. But having the reputation of being able to change silver to gold can be more trouble than it's worth, especially when her fate becomes tangled with the cold creatures that haunts the wood, and whose king has learned of her reputation and wants to exploit it for the reasons Miriam cannot understand. It sounds like a really interesting story. The cover is really beautiful and intriguing, and I hope that it's a pretty good book. And I also have uprooted, so I have 2 books that I could start out with, but I feel like this sounds really interesting, so it's one of my most anticipated of the year. The 7th book that I've written down is Pelham by L.L. McNeil. This is the sequel to Marauder, which I have a full review up on my channel, so you can go and check that out if you're curious about what Marauder is about and the world of Lanaria. I'm really excited to get into the sequel. I feel like the ending of Marauder was really amazing, and I'm super interested in seeing where this is going to pan out in the next coming books. Something definitely happened by the end that I need to know what's going to happen. The 8th book that I've written down is The Winter Station by Jody Shields. I'm gonna read the blurb again. Because yeah, that's what caught my attention at least. An aristocratic Russian doctor races to contain a deadly plague in an outpost city in Manchuria before it spreads to the rest of the world. In 1910, people are mysteriously dying at an alarming rate in the Russian-ruled city Karbin, a major railway outpost in northern China. Strangely, some of the dead bodies vanish before they can be identified. During a dangerously cold winter in a city gripped by fear, the Baron, a wealthy Russian aristocrat, and the city's medical commissioner is determined to stop this mysterious plague. Battling local customers and occupying army and a brutal epidemic with no name, the Baron is torn between duty and compassion, between Western medical science and respect for the Chinese tradition. His allies include the French doctor, a black marketeer, and a charismatic Chinese dwarf. His greatest refuge in the intimacy he shares with his young Chinese wife, but she has secrets of her own. Based on a true story that has been lost to history, set during the last days of Imperial Russia, The Winter Station is a richly textured and brilliant novel about mortality, fear, and love. I feel like that sounds like a really suspenseful and exciting novel, and slightly something different than I'm used to reading as well. And I like that it's set in China, and also it's just, and that it's based on a true story makes it even more interesting to read. The next book I have on my list is Let Me Lie by Claire McIntosh, which is a thriller, and I'm gonna read the blurb of that. The first thing says, the police say it was suicide, Anna says it was murder. They're both wrong. 1 year ago, Caroline Johnson chose to end her life brutally. A shocking suicide plan to match that of her husband just months before. The daughter, Anna, has struggled to come to terms with the loss ever since, and now with a young baby of her own, Anna misses her mother more than ever and starts to question her parents' death. But by digging up her past, she'll put her future in danger. Sometimes it's safer to let things lie. I think it sounds really scary and creepy, and hopefully I won't be too scared when I read it, but it sounds amazing, quite amazing. The next book that I have on my list is The Children of Blood and Bone by Tommy Adeyemi, I think, which is a debut author that is releasing her first book. I've seen this on so many lists, anticipated lists, and it looks really intriguing, it sounds really intriguing, and that's why I put it on my list, obviously. And I will read the blurb. Celia Adebola, yeah, that's probably wrong, remembers when the soil of Orisha, hummed with magic burners, ignited flames, tiders beckoned waves, and Celia's Reaper mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed the night magic disappeared under the orders of a ruthless king. Magi targeted and killed, leaving Celia without a mother and her people without hope. Now Celia has one chance to bring back magic and strike against the monarchy. With the help of a rogue princess, Celia must outwit and outrun the crown prince, who is hell-bent on eradicating magic for blood. Danger lurks in Orisha, where snow leopards prowl and vengeful spirits wait in the waters, yet the greatest danger may be Celia herself, as she struggles to control her powers and her growing feelings for the enemy. I think it sounds really interesting and really different, and I hope that it is not filled with all of those very used tropes, but it sounds like it's quite different than everything else and could be really good. So I'm definitely interested in this one. The next book I have on my list is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This is also, I think, a debut novel, and I'll read the blurb again. 17-year-old Alice and her mother have spent most of Alice's life on the road, always a step ahead of the uncanny bad luck biting in at their heels. But when Alice's grandmother, the reclusive author of a cult classic book of pitch-dark fairy tales, dies alone on her estate, the Hazelwood, Alice learns how bad her luck can really get. Her mother is stolen away by a figure who claims to come from the hinterland. The cruel supernatural world where her grandmother's stories are set, Alice's only lead is the message her mother left behind: stay away from the Hazelwood. Alice has long steered clear of her grandmother's child cultish fans, but now she has no choice but to ally with classmate Hilary Finch, a hinterland superman who may have his own reasons for wanting to help her. To retrieve her mother, Alice must venture first to the Hazelwood, then into the world where her grandmother's tales began, and where she might find out how her own story went so wrong. And it sounds like another Alice in Wonderland retelling sort of book, but it sounds really creepy and quite cool, and I'm interested in it. Next one, I think it's called Space Opera by Catherine M. Valente. I can't for the life of me find it on Goodreads. I don't know if it's because it's a late release or something, or who the publisher is, but I'm gonna try and find the cover for it here. But what it was told as was sort of the Eurovision Song Contest in space and something else. And it's difficult to say much about it because I can't find it and I can't read the blurb. But when I heard about it first I heard it on Caitlin's channel from Kitty G, and I also heard it on Thomas from SFF 180, and it sounds super quirky and weird, and like something that will make you, like, it could be really bad. But I feel like Catherine M. Valente is an author that is very praised and has a very whimsical sort of writing, so maybe she could actually make this work, even though the concept sounds super weird. But I'm interested in this one. So these were all of the books that I have on my most anticipated lists of 2008. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if you have any of these books and your most anticipated lists, and what other books that I haven't mentioned that you're excited about that's coming out in 2018. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye.